You're listening to Trek FM.
Hello, and welcome to From There to Here, Trek FM's 50th anniversary rewatch project, where network hosts get together and discuss all 729 episodes of Star Trek. Today we're going to be talking some more Voyager, with episodes Inside Man and Body and Soul. I'm Suzanne Williamson, and with me is...
Tony Robinson. Hi.
Okay, so Inside Man. This would be the episode where Starfleet's Lieutenant Barclay hologram convinces Janeway to pursue a dangerous, untested plan to bring Voyager home. What were your thoughts on this one?
Well, I love the premise of this being able to project a hologram onto Voyager. Voyager is still... How far away from Earth? Still about 30,000 light years away at this point in time.
They're really far away.
Yeah, far, far away from Earth, and still a long way to go. But somehow they've managed to now make a connection with Earth, and it started in the form of letters and little pieces of code coming in that they were able to decipher and read. And now we've managed to get a hologram. And this time it's Reg Barclay, played by Dwight Schultz. And what's interesting about this is the fact that when he projects himself onto Voyager, he's not the clumsy, bumbling, idiotic kind of person that he is when he's around normal people or when he's himself, but he's this super confident guy, charming and with a mission. And here he is. And he's going to get everyone to do something. Yeah.
And I didn't like that Reg Barclay. I wanted my bumbling, scared of people, hiding in the holodeck Reg. This Reg is just annoying to me. I don't like Life of the Party Reg. He needs to go home.
Yeah. Well, I kind of did and I didn't. On one level, I've always struggled with Reg Barclay because I never know how somebody like him got into Starfleet, but he did. So
yeah, how did he pass the academy? How did that happen?
Yeah, so if he could get in, then there's hope for us all. You know, when you look back at other characters, like Wesley Crusher, who was super intelligent, and he struggled with exams and whatever. Was he going to make it? Who knew? But Reg is there right from the get-go, and he's an important character, and he's got a lot to offer. But he certainly has his skills with the holodeck, so maybe that's his forte. Maybe he has programming skills, par excellence, and they can't let him go for. He's maybe a savant when it comes to that kind of thing, and they can't afford to let him go. Yeah, maybe that's his background.
Well, that, and you always need to have that awkward dude around to make people like Riker look even better.
Yeah, well, that's true. But in this episode, Reg, he's trying to get Voyager home. He has a plan. He's going to open up a wormhole. They'll have a 30 seconds to get into position, or is it a short amount of seconds?
It's a really short amount of time.
And then they'll get through, and they have to really hurry, and they'll get through, and once they come out the other side, everything will be fine. And there's all sorts of problems, so we have to have this kind of shielding and that kind of shielding. And he has all the answers. Yes, I've thought of this, I've thought of that. But there is some doubt as to whether this will work. And there's even some doubt as to whether Reg is really Reg. And this is picked up by the Doctor, because Reg is a hologram, and so is the Doctor. And the Doctor's way of behaving doesn't seem to be marrying with Reg's way of behaving. And the reason is they've met each other before. So the Doctor senses something's not quite right, but he can't quite figure it out. Did you think there was something wrong with Reg's programming? when he came on board?
I didn't think it at first. I just thought he was really annoying, and I didn't like him. But other than that, I was just like, okay, so how is Starfleet trying to get them home doing all this crazy stuff that, yeah, shielding and a shot is going to get you through this thing. It just didn't, none of it meshed for me.
But it was so plausible that he could that he could do this, because that's his, that's what he does, But somehow up pop the Ferengi, and yes. And their mission in life is really to steal 7 of 9's nano implants. Yep.
Yeah, to me, their mission is always to ruin every Star Trek episode they're on, because that's what they do.
A Ferengi fan, then, I take it.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I kind of agree with you. I was never a big fan of the Ferengi. Do you know what? I was watching this episode, and I can't remember the word that one of the Ferengi used, but I think they made a reference to having their ears stroked, which for them is a...
Umax.
Umax. Oh, yeah, that's right. And he said, look at the Umax on that. And I thought, really? It's a double entendre. It's like they're really saying something naughty, but
yes,
without actually saying a naughty word. But we all got it. And,
and it's more creepy because the Ferengi say it.
Yeah, probably. And I was thinking, this is a family show. There are children watching. Anyway, but yeah, so I was kind of slightly disturbed by that aspect of it. But the Ferengi are the Ferengi, yeah.
So all in all, what's your thumbs up, thumbs down on this episode?
Oh, I like these kind of episodes. I like the kind of... They become... it's straight out of science fiction. I mean, it's all science fiction, yes, I realize it's all science fiction, but sometimes they come out with just a kooky, great idea. And I like the idea of being able to project a person or personage or a hologram through a tiny, tiny little wormhole and have some plausible idea come up. And I really liked this episode. It was fun. It was enjoyable. And Dwight Schultz, back in the day, I don't know if anybody remembers the A-Team when he was the helicopter pilot in the A-Team. Yeah. Do you know what? I wish someone had woven the line, I love it when a plan comes together in this episode, but they didn't. I love it when a plan comes together. But they didn't. But I like Dwight Schultz, and I think he did a great kind of opposite of Barclay in this episode. So just for watching Reg and his actions, it was worth a watch on this one. Yeah, definitely, great episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna say neither thumbs up nor thumbs down, just because it had the annoying Reg I don't like, and Ferengi. That and poor Deanna can't take a vacation. Leave the woman alone. She's going to meet up with her husband. Just leave her alone.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing I was going to say about this episode. There are some fantastic beach shots in this.
Oh,
where they took... More and more they were going outdoors. And this time, I'm not sure where they shot this, but I'm going to say it was around Malibu Beach, north of Los Angeles, north of the airport.
Okay, so our next episode is Body and Soul. The Doctor experiences physical sensations for the first time after Seven downloads his matrix into her body. What do you think?
Well, I think what my initial thoughts about this episode was that it started off being quite a serious thing, but it's rather funny because it went from a series story into this kind of comedic, what have you done to me? When the Doctor would rematerialize, Seven was clearly not happy about this whole thing.
Not at all. Jerry Ryan mastered his Robert Picardo's mannerisms and speech patterns. She did a phenomenal job.
Oh, she did
in this episode.
Yeah.
Because you could actually see, like, the Doctor inside of Seven when she was playing those scenes, eating the cheesecake, or just talking to someone in the air that he usually has about him.
She had all the nuances and the little looks and the little turn of the head
Oh,
and
yeah.
the little sideways glance at something and and he, it was very enjoyable. But what was confusing me was the fact that it was going from a serious kind of storyline, or a storyline with great potential, into this comedic aspect of it. And I liked it and I didn't like it, because it wasn't one or the other. If it was a funny episode from the way through, then I would have laughed my socks off all the way through. But it kept kind of switching. And then to throw us all into confusion, another series subject arose, and this is Tuvok's having the onset of Pon farr.
Yeah.
Now, for a
Tuvok.
Vulcan, but for a Vulcan, this is a very private kind of issue, and he doesn't really want to share it with anybody, but yet he's forced to. Tom Paris helps him out, and he sets up a special hologram for him.
Now, with Tom Paris doing that, does that make Tom Paris a hollow pimp? I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Yeah, but, from Tuvok's point of view, again, he's a serious guy, and you kind of, does he have a sense of humor, or what constitutes a Vulcan sense of humor? I don't know. But it's not the kind of thing he really wants to play around with, but it's something that has to be addressed. And yes, Tom helps him out. But it ends on a light note when Tom says, I gave you the best recreation of your wife I could. And Tuvok's only comment was something about her ears being 4 centimeters too short or something.
And I think that's Tuvok having a sense of humor at that point, just poking at Tom because he can.
Yeah. So for me, in summing up this episode, it's a great, entertaining episode, well worth the watch. But is it comedy? Is it a serious episode? That's hard for me to tell. So I would have the level thumbs horizontal on that one. That's my opinion.
I'm going 2 thumbs up, just because of all the laughing that this episode gave me. For me, it was almost constant. Each time I saw Seven with the doctor inside of her, either dancing or eating or just talking, it was great.
Do you know what? I think I'll rewatch that episode again. Just for that one.
Yay!
Okay.
Well, Tony, where can people find you?
Well, the Babel Conference. I do contribute on the Babel Conference from time to time. I'll stick my little oar in wherever it's needed. I'll make a wry comment here, a wry comment there, and occasionally contribute a picture. And also on my own little podcast that's in development, which is found on Star Trek Weekly News, which is stwn.uk. Worth a look, but I'm a little bit far behind on my updates, so but thanks for looking anyway. And you, Suzanne, where can we find you?
Well, you can also find me sometimes lurking about the Babel Conference. You can also find me on Trek FM on To the Journey, talking more Voyager with my co-hosts Zachary and Kay. And then on Twitter, you can find me at KJaneway8. That's the letter K, Janeway, and the number 8. Well, it's been fun talking with you, Tony, about these 2 episodes, but we're going to be back tomorrow with more, aren't we?
We are, and a very fantastic episode coming up. We'll keep you waiting until then.